Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divine Feminine Healers podcast. It is your host, Angelica, the intuitive marketing coach. And on today's podcast episode, I want to talk about why is it so difficult to explain what you do as a healer. So many times my clients ask me this. I don't know how to explain to other people what it is that I do because it's really out there. And, even in our sessions together, we'll talk very esoterically and we're talking about spiritual concepts and limiting beliefs like where in the world do I begin explaining this to my future client when they have no idea what Ayurveda is and they don't know what yoga is? And I totally relate to this because at the beginning of my healing journey, oh my God, the kind of conversations I had, I kind of just gave up. And I just felt like, why even bother having these conversations when no one knows what I'm talking about? And these aren't going to be my future clients. And I kind of just, after a while, stopped really saying what it is that I did, and I began to hide myself. So this is where the fear of being seen can really come up if you're not being very clear and concise in your communication and being open to sharing what it is that you do and owning it, no matter who comes up to you and asks you. That is such a good marker of how confident you are in what you do, is if you can explain what you do to literally any old Joe that is off the street. So let me tell you, I've been through all of it, explaining what it is that I do, so I feel you on all those fronts. I'll share my personal experience with this in just a bit, but just to give you the gamut of what we got on deck for this episode, I'm going to share you my personal story with coming up with a quote unquote elevator pitch of what I did as a healer. And then we are going to go into how you can speak to specific potential clients and be as clear and concise in your communication as possible. And then I'm going to finish talking about a lot of the limiting beliefs that can come up when we try to be clear and concise with our communication and how this can really hold us back. And we're going to end there. So for those of you who are listening, and if your goal right now is to attract clients, you're looking to build your business, you're wanting to bring in clients, and you want to do this with an Instagram marketing strategy, like the reason why you're starting your own business is so that you can have this flexibility and work from anywhere and build your own income. Right now, I have an incredible offer to join my membership, and I teach you my process on how to create an intuitive IG strategy in the first 3 months. 100% risk-free guarantee that if you don't sign your first client within the 3 months, I will continuously work with you until you do. So if this is you, if you're so ready to take that next step, sign your first client, just send me a direct message at Angelica_feminine_healer. Just simply reply new client, ! And I will send you more details to see if it is the right fit for you. Okay, now into this episode. So let's talk about my quote unquote elevator pitch back in the days. I remember when I was living in Chicago and you would think it was a really established city, which I'm sure it is compared to a lot of other places in the world. But every single time someone asked what I did, I would say I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner. And then they would say, well, what is that? And I would say it's a holistic healing science where you treat the root cause of the imbalance and you are treated as a unique mind, body, spirit type. And they would say, well, what does that mean? And then I would say, well, I heal people by finding what is really at the root of their issues with things like diet and lifestyle practices and herbs. And like, oh, okay, so you're a dietitian. And I would say, well, not really. I also really work with the mind, how you could really hold yourself back by thinking in certain ways. And I also connect women to their spirituality, what is their highest calling in life and their purpose. And I would just go on these tangents and tangents. And by the end of the conversation, I could tell that person's bored, eyes glazed over, they're confused. I'm going in all these different directions. They think I'm bonkers. And then I feel not confident because I'm not feeling very clear and effective in communicating. And I don't feel seen in my gifts. And so after a while, I just kind of began to stop talking about Ayurveda completely and just kind of like stop the conversation. And I would just assume, oh, this person's not my client if they don't know what Ayurveda is. And if this is you, I want you just to take a look at this and get curious, because I truly believe that anyone really can be your client if you could just clearly communicate to them. And whether they're your client or not, it just feels good to be able to communicate what it is that you do and to be seen what you do as a healer. So let's get into the different types of potential clients that may come your way and how you can speak effectively to them. So let's talk about the random old person just literally coming off the street, just being like, oh, what have you been up to? And you start talking about what it is that you do. The first trap that we get caught in is really sharing the spiritual benefits that people get from working with us. And this is because We have now, after all of our experience in the healing world and after all the certifications we have gotten, a lot of us have come to the realization that the reason why we were on this healing journey is for a spiritual conquest. It was for deeper reasons. It was to answer a soul's calling, to step into this role as a healer. It was to leave that relationship and be in more nurturing ones, or it was to feel really connected to that part of ourselves that feels like it's lived so many soul lives. That's what it's really about, right? So we're like, all right, let's just get into it. Why wouldn't we talk about those benefits of feeling so confident in your body and feeling empowered to build a career that and a life that is really made for you? Like, that's the essence of it, right? But you have to think back to where you were at the beginning of your healing journey. If someone were to tell you you're on this healing journey so that you can answer your soul's calling and become an Ayurvedic practitioner, you'd be like, what? Like, that would not make sense to you at all, even if it was to be true, right? That was not the answer that you needed. You needed them to meet you where you were at. And where you were at was, I have physical imbalances in my body. If you are a healer, that was the path that you were chosen. And whatever that first awareness was of that physical symptom in your body is what your future client needs to know is going on with them. Sometimes they don't even know, like things like digestion, that things are off. Most of the time, though, their body is screaming to them and they know that something's wrong. So you have to speak to those tangible challenges that they're going through first. So things like weight loss, or hormone imbalances, or low energy, no sleep. These are really tangible challenges that people can understand and relate to and say, yeah, I feel that. I experience that. So the more that you share those tangible challenges and then the tangible results that they can get when working with you, they're going to be able to connect with you because they can understand that. They can relate to that, the physical body. So speak to that. Instead of speaking to the more esoteric results that people get from working with you, which you know they're going to get and you know they're going to be on board with once they start working with you, it's going to be great. Meet them where they're at and talk about the tangible results they get. They're going to get great sleep, way better digestion, weight loss, no more acne, things like this that they could really grip onto. And it's going to be very specific to the type of healer that you are, because we all know we're very different healers from each other. Let's talk about the next type of client that might come your way. This is more what I would categorize as a warm lead. So someone, maybe a friend of a friend, who this friend's like, oh my God, she's so into spirituality and stuff like this too. Like, I bet you guys would get along great. Maybe this is a yoga student or someone that you've kind of already gotten to know before. Another trap that we fall into when we're trying to explain what it is that we do is we try to share with them our process or what is the content of our program. And there's a few reasons why I think we do this. The first reason, we're just so passionate about what it is that we do that we can't wait to share it. I mean, you've been through this education process that was probably isolating because you did it remotely and you did it through a course. So you didn't really have a lot of time to share and geek out on all these different concepts with people in your cohort. And another reason is you are a creative. So of course you're going to be excited about the stuff that you're creating and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I categorize each of these modules based on a different chakra. So by the end, your chakras are going to feel so aligned. Like, I literally remember thinking that if people only knew that about my program, they would be like, yes, sign up for it, because that's what I thought. But I wasn't meeting my clients where they were at. I was 5 steps ahead of where they were at. I was meeting them where I was at instead of speaking to where they were, which was 5 steps behind from where we are. And that's always where your clients are going to be. That's why they're looking to you. You only have to be 5 steps ahead of them, which is so much grace for yourself, but also it's helpful to you to know, I've got this, I've been there before, I know I can help them. So instead of talking about your education, your curriculum, talk about what they want and what they need, and that they can trust you. All they want is to know is that you can help them with their X challenge and you can get them their Y result. So the reason how you know their X and their Y is by simply asking them questions. What feels really challenging to you on your healing journey right now? What is the thing that you want to change the most? Where would you love to be a year from now? What would feel like a dream for you 6 months from now? Asking them these questions really helps them to understand what it is that they want. and getting as clear and tangible as possible. Sometimes you will get those people who maybe already had some experience in the wellness world and they'll try to make it really esoteric. Like, I just want to feel confident and empowered in my body. And so then you can ask them questions like, well, what does that really look like for you? Like, let them get really tangible so that they know and they don't have to be afraid that that vision themselves can actually come true. So that's all you have to do. It's as simple as that. This most simplest marketing strategy. All your clients want to know is you can help them with X challenge and get them to Y result, and that they can trust you. So once you know that, then you could share examples. Oh my gosh, well, I help heal my body this way. This is how it has happened. Oh my gosh, I helped heal this client with this. She reminds me of you. That is how you build those trust with those clients. And then it becomes so much more easeful. You're going to feel less drained in your energy because you're not trying to explain everything that you've ever learned in your Ayurvedic career. You are just going to teach them what they need to know in that moment, which is something simple and clear and effective. So let's recap. The most clearest and concise communication you can offer them is telling them the most tangible, simple, in layman's terms, what their challenge is and how and what results they can achieve from working with you. Be as clear and concise as you can. Now, let's talk about those limiting beliefs that are coming up, because I've had them all. One of them is not wanting to sound too generic and just wanting to be different. I mean, the reason why I avoided Instagram for so long is because I hated how everyone just kind of sounded like the same and people were just following these certain trends. And in my own echo chamber, I felt like, gosh, everyone's trying to be a healer and a coach. I don't want to be like everyone else. I want to stand out. I want to be different. So I want to make sure that I'm really speaking to people in a different way, that they're not being sold to in all these other ways. I mean, whatever it is that you're specializing in, you're going to think that everyone knows it, everyone's sick of hearing it. And that's only because you need to build your confidence that your people are not necessarily coming to you just for that challenge and result. It's true, they are, but they're also coming to you because they're attracted to you for some reason, because you are allowing yourself to be fully seen in your uniqueness. So this is why I teach in my membership to align with your unique energy type, because once you are so in alignment with your authenticity, that truly attracts in the majority of your clients. There's been so many times where I haven't even posted and all of a sudden I get people who knock on my DMs and it's the perfect client coming on my doorstep. And that's because I was in the right vibration. So that is a huge piece to your authenticity that naturally is just going to exude from you, that you don't really have to do a lot of communication and airy-fairy talk to get through. Like, the less esoteric language, the less energy you're going to spend of just talking in circles on what it really is. Your clients just want to know that you can help them and you got them the results. That's it, period. So be more clear and direct. And instead, if you feel like you need to exercise that creativity, put it in your content, put it in your artwork. There's probably a part of you that is not expressing that creativity that needs to be channeled in a different way. But when it comes to your marketing and selling, clear and concise is the way. The second objection that you might have is worrying that you're going to attract the wrong client. So let's say you are offering basically a weight loss program, but in reality, you're teaching them how to clear a lot of emotional weight and have strong boundaries with other people so they're not taking on other people's energies. You want to make sure that people know that, like, this program is way deeper than what you're going to get from that other person who is just telling you to count calories, right? You want to have that authenticity. But this is why you need to remember that your business is based off of your energy type. Again, I'm going to repeat that. Your business is based off your energy type. So you just being in alignment with your unique essence and mind, body, spirit type is going to attract that type of client. It will. And you also need to have certain systems in place to funnel in those people. So when you have certain resources that people are coming in your doorstep to, or when you're giving away certain content that is really sharing your unique voice, that's going to be bringing in the right people. But when it comes to your offer, you want to be as tangible as possible so people are not confused. There's so much confusion, especially in the healing world, of so much esoteric language. And I see so many powerful healers not getting any clients because they're not being clear and direct with their people. So I know you want to stand out, and I know you don't want to attract those wrong clients, but that's what systems are for, so that you naturally have a system that gets rid of clients that are not in alignment for you. This could be things like an application process, for example, and instead let that do the work and be as clear and concise with your marketing strategy as you can. Okay, so if this sounds so good to you and you're like, yes, I want to sign my first client, this sounds amazing, I finally want to share what it is that I do, how can I be more clear and concise, because it's really hard for me to see, I totally get it. It's so hard to see what it is that we do because we're so consumed in it, and it's our baby and our creativity, and there's so much into it. I'm so happy to help and guide you to grow your business and create an intuitive Instagram marketing strategy through my new offering. If you are ready to sign your first client, just DM me at Angelica_feminine_healer, and I will share with you how you can start working with me. This is one of my best offers. It's less than $75 per month to have this, and this is tailored feedback that I get for your specific business to make sure that you are growing your Instagram audience. Like I said, I guarantee to work with you until you sign your first client. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Wishing you all the best, speaking what it is that you do as a healer. People deserve to know, you deserve to be seen. Be clear and concise. And if you love this episode, please share it with a friend or a family member who would love it too. And I would be so adoring of you if you commented, rated, and reviewed on either Spotify or on Instagram. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. See you next time.